Global warming is the increase in the average temperature of Earth's near-surface air and oceans since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Distinct evidence has been recognized across the world in the forms of glacial disappearance, species endangerment and extinction, rising sea levels, and more frequent and severe natural disasters. One industry that has a consequential impact on global warming is the tourism sector. A contributory source of this epidemic is British Columbia's sport fishing industry. Sport fishing is defined as recreational activities for pleasure or competition. The most common forms of sport fishing is done with a rod, reel, line, or hook with a variety of baits. In British Columbia, this is considered a part of our lifestyle and our culture. Freshwater fishing sectors provide substantial social, cultural, and economic benefit for the province. Travelers come to BC specifically to fish, and the money they spend while here contributes to our GDP tremendously. Sport fishing supports roughly 7,700 full-time jobs and generates $288 million per year in GDP. Sport fishing is primarily a seasonal activity, but occurs virtually every month somewhere in the province. Visitors from all around the world come to take advantage of British Columbia's beautiful freshwater fishing environment. Their journey usually begins and ends with the use of planes, helicopters, trains, ferries, or automobiles. In many cases, several modes of transportation per trip, with every mode contributing towards the release of carbon emissions. Beautiful and luxurious resorts and lodges built for cyclocentric tourists have led to the development of natural landscapes like these, to acres of clear-cut natural habitat shown here, and finally, the building of unsustainable and wasteful facilities like this one and that one. Also contributing to climate change is the production of petroleum products. In order to make supplies and equipment used by sports fishermen, mountains must be mined and elements and minerals must be processed. These lures, rods, flies, lines, nets, and clothing have an extremely short lifespan and often end up tangled, snagged, and lost in the waters. When it comes to mitigation, the first thing that must be done is to assess the situation. The basic biological and physiological characteristics of a body of water have to be assessed to understand the sensitivity and productivity of its habitat. Aquatic vegetation has a substantial effect on the species that live in freshwater bodies. This includes vegetation that is rooted into the bed of the watercourse or water body, ones that remain completely submerged in the water or float on the surface of the water. This is extremely important because these species are necessary for a certain aquatic life to feed in the food chain. If human beings are polluting or clearing this vegetation for urbanization, it could extinct many species in the area. Terrestrial vegetation has to be taken into account as well. Recording temperatures in and around a water body as well as controlling the amount of vegetation that is around that body of water must not be neglected. Terrestrial vegetation includes trees, shrubs, grasses, and reeds. Vegetation that is adjacent to a body of water, the density of this flora and fauna has an effect on the temperature of the water. This can alter the temperature as much as 3 degrees, which can create an unlivable environment for some aquatic species. Monitoring invertebrate species at these locations is necessary as well. Overhunting in these areas can alter the ecosystem in enormous ways. Removing primary predators has a trickle-down effect that can alter populations in the environment because predators act as a natural population controller. In British Columbia, we have certain laws to control our fishing and hunting practices in order to mitigate any negative results that have been recorded by past years' data. With the near extinction of the Arctic grayling and dragon lake whitefish, the Department of Fisheries and Oceans was forced to change regulations for sport fishing of these and other species. Non-compliance with these laws can lead to the loss of license, heavy fines, and even jail time. The adaptation of rules and laws for freshwater species has been the main tool used to reduce irreversible destruction. Other adaptation methods include fish farming and cultivated fish communities. However, they are not alternative forms of sport fishing for the industry. Some lakes and rivers prohibit the use of motors, which aim to reduce pollution to sensitive ecosystems and previously damaged wetlands. Humans are continually searching to develop superior technologies and more efficient ways to lessen the harmful damage we have caused our planet. As amateur environmentalists, we must do our part to be mindful when fishing and remember that our actions do impact the freshwater environment. By practicing proper catch and release methods, removing garbage and waste, obeying local DFO laws, and using natural and biodegradable products, we can help to change the trends for the next generation and lower our own carbon footprint.
Back streets back, alright. We're back again. Brothers, sisters, everybody sing. Gonna bring the flame, I'll show you how.